Okay, so here's a question. What's the most important detail in The Truman Show? Is it the numerous hidden cameras, the not-so-subtle ads, the precise choreography of the extras? Well, for me, it's none of the above. So today, I want to discuss a detail that's almost always on screen but never seems to get mentioned: the colors. In particular, the one Truman is almost always wearing, because in just about every scene, he's wearing some form of the color red.
That's the whole ball of wax. See you later.
And this focus on outfits and color shouldn't be a surprise, since it's one of the details director Peter Weir focused on during storyboarding.
Because if you're doing, a scene in a restaurant, and so she's sitting there waiting for him. So we'll describe the restaurant, as we do, describe her sitting, and describe him walking, usually clothes, appearance, banalities, really. As he walked across the room, he remembered his grandmother, who had a similar pink top on when, the morning she died or something. You find yourself writing, that's interesting.
Now, from a canonical standpoint, the decision to have Truman wear red was likely to have him look like the main character. Most of the extras we see have very dull and muted clothing, which is likely a design parameter of the show within the movie, so nothing detracts attention from Truman.
Because of it being such an unusual world, there was a hyper-reality that Peter was really after. And it's evident in the production design and the cinematography and the costuming.
The color can also be found on his wife and best friend, but seeing as they're important characters who would be regulars on the show, this also makes sense. But there's one other character who almost always wears red on screen: Lauren. And this is where I think the real importance of the color is shown. Because for Truman, it's not just his favorite color, it's a gravitational force, and it communicates the connection he feels towards certain characters.
Then don't talk.
Take the very first time Truman meets Lauren. His eyes are drawn to her from across the campus while she's wearing a red skirt and red pin on her blouse. Truman's immediately enamored with her, and it's perfectly juxtaposed with his nonchalant attitude towards his arranged wife, Meryl, who literally falls into his lap. Meryl isn't wearing any red. The only color she has is her blue pom-poms, and it signals Truman's indifference to her at that moment because she lacks that magnetic force that Lauren has.
Sorry to fall on you like that.
Oh, that's all right. Don't worry about it.
Later, we see Meryl and Marlon continuing to insert themselves into Truman's life, and both of them are wearing some form of red. Marlon's outfit having more than Meryl's, indicating that Truman has accepted him as a friend, but hasn't fully committed to accepting Meryl in his life. And to push this even further, when he blows them off in the library to study, he's drawn to someone sitting on the other side of the desk, that someone being Lauren. And what she's wearing is significant, because while Meryl's red stripe shows Truman still has reluctance towards her, Lauren's fully red sweater shows his desire to be with her. It was easy for him to say no to Meryl, but he was compelled to leave with Lauren.
If we don't go now, it won't happen.
And the absence of red is also of note. When we see Sylvia in the outside world, the vibrant red is stricken from her outfit. She isn't near Truman, and reflects that disconnect in her dull and dreary colors. But through all this, Truman wears red. When he finally gathers enough courage to get on the boat and sail away, he's wearing a pair of red shoes. Like Dorothy, he suddenly finds himself in a strange land, desperate to get home. For him, that home is Sylvia, and his love for her compels him to move. And as he gets closer to being back in her life, we see that she's once again wearing red. She's the beacon pulling him home, and when he finally walks through the door, she's pulled from the TV to finally be with the man she loves. Truman wears red as a symbol. He's the only real living person in the town. He's its lifeblood, its heart. The people around him seem dull because they don't truly live there. The ones who are close to him, the ones he accepts into his life and have an impact on him, don red in accordance to how much of his life he invests in them. Marlon wears more as the film goes on since he's Truman's childhood friend, but Meryl never wears a fully red outfit since he's never truly accepted her. He was manipulated into Meryl but naturally drawn to Lauren. She's his compulsion, his love, and his connection to the reality outside his own. He might have spent his whole life living in a house in Seaside, but Sylvia will always be his home. I'm Luke Custer. Thanks for watching, everybody.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.